be my entry to the push for 500 subs for my good friend Mage on the vinyl community. Still kind of having a hard time remembering your channel name, Mage. It's either Square in a Circle or Circle the Square. One of these two, so I'll put that here. Forgive me for that, I'm just terrible at names. So, Major asks us to show 4 records we would have with us on a desert island. So 4 desert island discs. Something you may not be aware of, Major, is that there's a really cool radio program here in the UK called Desert Island Discs. And it's got a very long history, and it's still going. I mean, it's a sort of a talk show where they invite a famous person in every week or every episode to talk about I think they have 7 discs so they can choose, and it's a really good program. And you know, it can be politicians, it can be sports stars, it can be authors, celebrities, people of some renown normally, and they come in, and really it's a platform to kind of talk a little bit about their own life and reminisce around certain songs, and then at the end they get to choose a book they would like to have. And then the last question in the program is always, there's a big tidal wave comes in and washes away all of these. Which one would you grab to save? So sort of like the interviewee has to sort of select the one that they would most likely hang on. And most of these songs, you know, they're songs they remember from their childhood or something like that. Something that reminds them of their parents or the school times, that sort of thing. Now, I think there's 2 ways that I could answer this. I could either do just like the program, but that would be hard to sort of siphon it down to 4 songs, and to be honest with you, I'm not very good at kind of choosing individual tracks, or even sort of like compiling. A lot of people do these compiling videos, don't they, where they'll rank, you know, 0 to 10 or something like that. It's difficult for me to do that. I just won't be able to do it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a pragmatic answer to this, and I've pulled out 4 albums that I would wish that I had with me on a desert island disc, purely for practical reasons, and that is 4 records isn't an awful lot, is it? So the ones I've pulled out are ones that I think have quite a wide girth, so there's a lot of variety and a lot of length and depth to them, that would keep me going for the time I'm on this desert island. And 4 that I'm not necessarily that well acquainted with. So yeah, I guess I would worry that listening too much to favourite records or whatever is going to kill them for me. I learned that quite on. You know, I used to be, when I was a kid, I used to really like T-Rex, David Bowie, and I played them to death, really. I still like them, but sometimes I wish I hadn't listened to them quite so much. And I learned that by the time I kind of discovered Led Zeppelin. I thought to myself, well, I'm going to try and preserve these as long as I can. So I nearly never ever play Led Zeppelin, not because I don't like them, but because I do. And now, because I've done that, when I do go back and play them, they still carry that special kind of, you know, attraction to me that hasn't worn off. And I think I probably use that to a fair extent with most of my music. Anyway, so back to the questions. So first one I'm going to show is this. I'm playing it in the background slightly. This is Genesis, Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Everybody knows it's It's a double concept album. Came out in 1974. It's lovely because it's in this gatefold. It's got sort of quite a thorough description of what that's all about. And I think, to be honest, I think, you know, this would really give me something to sink my teeth into. In the sleeve, the lyrics, while I was stuck on the Desert Island Disc. Well, I was, to be honest with you, this would give me something to really sink my teeth into while I was stuck on this desert island, with little or nothing else to do other than listen to records that I kind of grabbed. So that's that. This is a really good record. I mean, I've known this one for a long time, but out of all the Genesis albums, I think this is probably the one that I'm least familiar with, purely because of its length. You know, some people say, don't they, about some of these really long records that they could be edited down. It's not unusual to hear people say that about the White Album, for instance, by the Beatles. You know, which songs would they pull out to condense it, to make it more condensed. But to be honest with you, I think, you know, sometimes you can have these lengthy things, and yeah, they don't need to be so closely trimmed and edited. You know, a lot of the beauty is in the just sort of the fine details, and you know, just the amazing music. You don't have to cut it all back. Why would you do that? Anyway, so that's my first record that I would want for longevity and you know, variety. Next album I'm going to show in a similar vein, and that is this. It's got a little bit of writing on the front, sadly, but this is the big double overblown Yes album, Tales from the Topographic Ocean. Now this is an interesting record. You know, I've had this many years. And I've tried to listen to it and really get into it, and I only just scraped the surface. You know, I love long, complex music, but because there's 4 tracks of roughly equal length on this, I found it really hard to penetrate. The first track I think I've had most success with, The Revealing Science of God. But the other 3 are still there. So on the Desert Island Disc, Got Nothing But Time, I can really sort of spend a long time getting to know this record. Everybody I've spoken to about this that say they like it or they hold it up as one of the greatest Yes albums, they all say stick with it, you know, stick with it, you'll get there eventually. And that's probably what I would most likely be doing on the Desert Island with this. Again, for practical reasons, my third record I would choose would be Quadrophenia. If you haven't listened to Quadrophenia, you've got to listen to it. It's brilliant. Really good record. Again, lots to read. A double concept album. It's not really progressive rock. It's just rock opera. Lots of lyrics to really sink into. Beautiful pictures. So with this, I wouldn't just be getting fantastic music. I'd also be getting, you know, the entertainment of an epic story. You know, the pictures are here to sort of ignite the images in my mind while I'm listening to it. And there's lots of these pictures. Beautiful album. And again, this would really keep me going. A lot of people say, just like the other When I showed Lamb That Lies Down on Broadway that this could have been really edited back, I disagree. I like its grandiosity. I like its long drawn out pieces. I like the fact that it's not all just one big long singing. There's one big long song. There's lots of instrumental passages that are amazing. I mean, Keith Moon, this record's worth the price alone just to hear Keith Moon play in this sort of epic, spectacular way. So that's my third record. Record, I would go for a compilation. I've got some good compilations. I really like compilations from the past, the 60s or 70s, particularly those that they often blend some well-known established acts, and they often shuffle in some lesser-known artists and bands, and that's always good, because otherwise you wouldn't necessarily discover them. And what's good about them is, well, they bring them to your attention, and I like that. It's always fun to discover new artists. Now this is a compilation called Small Text, The Big Ball. I think I bought this in the States, and it's a really good compilation. It's got a good mix of artists from the 60s and the 70s, very early 70s I suppose you'd say. A fair bit to read, some good stuff on the inner sleeves, on the gatefold sleeves. Lots of really interesting bands. I'll give you a flavour of what's on here. So the first side, for instance, is the Fifth Avenue Band. I don't know who they are. Bound to be good. John Sebastian. I know a little bit about him. I know he was sort of a peaceful guy in the 60s, wasn't he? I think. Beach Boys. Well, that's good because I'm going to be on a beach, aren't I? So, with Desert Island and everything. So I'll probably want that kind of surfing sensation happening. Then we've got Jeff and Maria Mulder, whoever they are. Ario Guthrie, Eric Anderson, Norman Greenbaum, Savage Grace, and then side 2 we've got Van Morrison, Fleetwood Mac, Pentangle, Jethro Tull, Small Faces. I loved Small Faces, and it's a track off their first album. So that's brilliant. And then Family. I don't know much about Family. They're a British prog band. Don't believe I've actually got any of their records. The Kinks, again, it's going to be fantastic. And then side 3, Everly Brothers, Tim Buckley, Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, Randy Newman, Gordon Lightfoot, James Taylor. Got a certain theme going on there, I think. Dion. And then on side 4 we've got Ed Sanders, the GTOs, Captain Beefheart. Whatever you think of Captain Beefheart, he's got a track on here. The GTOs, Mother of Invention, Wildman Fisher, Pearls Before Swine, and the Grateful Dead. It's really good comp, lots of music on there, and being, yeah, like I said, stuck on this desert island, I'm really going to appreciate this to fill my time and give me some quality listening. Midge, I hope that satisfies your questions. I hope there's. I hope you get a few entries on this, and thanks for setting it up. You haven't been around very long, have you? So you've got some way to go with your subscribers, but I don't put too much attention on subscribers. I've been doing this for a few years now, and I don't know, just past 600, but I know some people really kind of pursue the subscribers to the point where it starts to take over and their channel is no longer kind of about the music or the records that they enjoy. It just becomes about pursuing subscribers. I hope you don't do that. I always think, I'd rather have 50 subscribers that I kind of interact with and have a good chat with than 5,000 that you can't possibly keep up with 5,000 subscribers, can you? That's my view. Anyway, thanks very much. Check out my next video, everybody. Thanks.